Hey, what's up? Chef Jesse here, Uncle Jesse. How you doing? Today, you know when you go to a restaurant, they always give you a choice. You want soup or salad? And obviously some people want soup and some people want salad. Well, guess what? Today for dinner, we're gonna have both. You know why? Because this is my house and my rules, right? Who tells me that I have to have soup or salad? Maybe I want both, so I want both. So today we're gonna have a French onion soup, which is a meal in itself. I love French onion soup. First time I tried it was in Outback, and it is the greatest. I think they changed the menu though, the ingredients in it. Because last time I had the French onion soup, it wasn't the same that I had the first. Anyway, I make my own now. Close Outback is closed. So I am making French onion soup, and then we're gonna have a salad. So today, like I said, in restaurants they ask you a choice: soup or salad. Oh, it's my house, my rules. I have both. What the hell? So I'm gonna have. I have this big giant human. Look at this humongous freaking onion from outer space, and I'm gonna cut it up, and I'm gonna show you how it's cut up, and then I'm gonna start sauteing it. So to show you how I make my onion soup, and of course you guys know how to make a salad, so I don't have to teach you how to do that. So stay tuned. So I cut this up, okay?
Next week.
So folks, what I usually do, I cut the bottom of the onion off so I can put it down flat. Now you probably can't see that. Let me see. I can probably put it. Anyway, believe me, it's flat. So they're flat. So I'm going to cut it down along the line. Okay. There you go. Now remember, this tip here, this is what holds the onion together. When you cut this off, the onion falls apart. So I cut the onion down. I'm going to peel the outer skin out. I hate this skin. I really do. Onion skin gets me, I don't know, something icky about it. But I'm going to take the outer layer off, okay, like so. And I'm going to start cutting it in down the line, half moons, okay? Now remember, onion really breaks down a lot. So when you put this in the pot, you might find it to be a lot of onion, but at the end of the day, it's not because it breaks down. So I cut it to half moons, and now I cut it down. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It looks like this. And I'm gonna put it into my pot. Okay. 4-quart pot, I guess it is. I don't know, 2-quart, I don't know. I don't know about pots. I call it big one, medium one, and small one. I don't know what the hell. So anyway, I'm putting my onions in there. I'm gonna put a little bit more, because like I said, the onion tends to break down pretty much. So I take the outer skin. Again, I chop up. Okay. There you go. I'm using my Psycho knife, named by one of my good Facebook friends. That I hope she hasn't been doing too good, and I keep her in my prayers, because she's my like #1 fan, and she follows me and everything. And anyway, let me show you how I cut up the onion. Okay. So there goes my onion. Okay. I cut it up, okay, in the pot, and I'm gonna put this up mostly up to halfway the top of this pot here, because like when I finish cooking and breaking these onions down, you're gonna see the difference. It's gonna be all broken down, and it won't look like this, okay? Now, in that pot, that plain pot here, I don't know if I can show you. I don't know. I want to show you in that plain pot there. It moves. In this pot here, I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of butter, which I already cut up. 3 tablespoons. Okay. So I'm going to dump that in there, and I'm gonna put a little bit of, maybe about 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Okay. I'm measuring here by eye, because, you know, I could do that. I can measure by eye. Okay. I'm not going to use any salt in this, because I'm using beef stock, which is, well, the beef stock I'm using is low sodium, but I will adjust the saltness later on. But I'm going to put some pepper. Okay, I'm going to put some pepper in there. And, okay. I will put some garlic, because you gotta, the recipe doesn't call for garlic, but I put garlic anyway, because I put garlic in everything. And that's it, plain and simple. Look at that. Now I'm gonna turn on my stove, and I'm gonna start breaking these onions down. And when the onions are, when they're nice and broken down, I'm gonna add some sugar to it to caramelize the onions. And then after I do that, and I've fully broken down, everything's broken down, then I'm gonna I'm gonna add my beef broth, and then I'm gonna let it simmer in there, and then I'm gonna put it together to turn it into French onion soup, right? Okay, so you gotta keep an eye on this. And let me get my wooden spoon here, and I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I'm cooking it low flame, and I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I have to keep mixing it around, shaking it around. I want to make sure that this doesn't burn. You don't want to fry the onions. Definitely don't want to fry them. You want to saute them, and you want to break them down. So just keep an eye on them. This is going to take a little while. It's going to take maybe 15-20 minutes, actually, to fully break them down. And you want them down. You want them soft. You want them translucent, transparent, whatever you want to call them. You can see through them. And so anyway, folks, this is my my days of cooking, my cooking show here are numbered because I'm going for surgery on Friday, so I don't know if I'm going to be cooking. Definitely won't be cooking over the weekend. And I might come back, you'll be surprised, I might come back to you as early as Monday or Tuesday with my help, Gilbert. And you know how...
yes, I'm going to be helping doing the cooking, and I'm going to do an amazing job cooking.
Yeah. Yep. You remember? I don't know if you guys remember. Some of you might be too young, but Julia Childs was one of the first ones that used to cook. And when she got older, she still had her show, but she had a helper, and they would cook together, and she would show them how to cook. And this is the way she kept her show, even though she was losing her touch. I actually went to the Smithsonian Museum and I saw her kitchen and all her utensils and everything. It was great. I got pictures of it. And she was one of the first pioneers of cooking shows. Nothing compared to the people nowadays. She was a pioneer of the cooking show. So, and she's should I say one of my idols? But everybody makes fun of Julia Child. On Saturday Night Live, they made fun of her. But she's a legend. She's a legend. Really is. All jokes aside, she was a legend. So I'm gonna be cooking just like Julia Child. I'll be in my wheelchair if I can't stand up on my crutches, and I'll show Gilbert what to do. So anyway, getting back to the topic here, I'm starting to cry a bit. These onions are very, very powerful, and I'll keep mixing, and like I said, it's gonna take about a good 20 minutes or so to fully break this down, and then I'll add my beef stock. And I'll add my sugar first to caramelize the onions, and then I'll add my beef stock, and then I'll bring it to a boil, and then I'll bring it down to a simmer, and then it's done. And then I just have to put it together. And as you know, French onion soup consists of you have to have the right little bowl. You have to have French bread. Put it on top. You toast the bread. Rub the bread with some olive oil. Toast it, and when it's nice and toasty, you lay it on top of the bowl. You put some. You can use all kind of whatever. I use Swiss cheese and mozzarella. I used grilled cheese one time. It's up to you, but today I'm using Swiss and mozzarella, a mixture on top of the bowl, top of the toast. I'm gonna put it in the oven, the broiler, and you're gonna see how it's done. You're probably saying, like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Well, you'll see how it's done. I'll be right back. Okay, folks, so my onions are almost done. Let me show you how they're almost done. I started out with a whole pot of onions, and this is what I ended up with. So let me bring this out. Okay, so you see, now I just put some sugar in it to make it caramelize the onions. Not too much, just a couple of tablespoons, just to get that caramel, it says sweetness of the onion out, and starting to look good. So now, in a few minutes, what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw in the. I'm going to use 3 cups of beef broth, beef stock, and I'm going to put it in the pan. That's it. and just a little bit of salt. I'm going to use some pink Himalayan salt, which I'll show you how that's done. Pink Himalayan salt, okay. So I'm just going to go a little bit, not too much, because the remember the beef stock has sodium in it, but I'm using low sodium beef stock. So, and I'm going to break it down with a little bit of water. So this is starting to look good. I think the consistency of the onion looks starting to look good. It's nice and brown. It's not fried. It's not, you don't make sure you don't fry the onion. Just saute it. So it looks good. It's been cooking in the olive oil and the butter for almost 20 minutes, and it's almost done. And as soon as I get that nice brown coloring, which in a few minutes it looks like it's getting there, I'm going to throw in my beef stock, and then I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then simmer it, and we're done. So stay tuned. So folks, I just added the beef stock, and now I'm just mixing it around, and let me show you how it looks. And okay, nothing much yet, but I'm going to bring that to a boil. I'm going to bring that to a boil and taste it. Maybe you need a little bit of salt. I'm using some of this powdered beef broth, the Oso powder. This is low sodium, so I'm going to put a little bit in there. And I just put a little bit to half of that envelope. And I'm going to stir, and I'm going to bring it to a second boil. And after the second boil, and then I'll lower it down and let it simmer. So folks, my onion soup is boiling. Let me show you how it looks in the pan. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Oof, wait a minute, it's getting too cloudy. Oh, gotta look away. There you go, real quickly. There you go. So it's boiling now, and I'm going to, okay, there you go. I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to bring the temperature down. So I can simmer it a little, maybe 5 minutes or so. I don't want to boil it too much, I'll evaporate it. So, but I'm going to simmer it maybe about 5 minutes, and it's done. It's done, and then I have to serve it. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, so now I just put it down. It was boiling. I just lowered it down, and now I'm going to simmer it for maybe 5 minutes, and then I'm going to prepare it, put it into the oven. I'll show you how that's done, and then we're going to serve it. Well, folks, I just finished preparing my salad. I put lettuce, romaine lettuce. I chopped up tomatoes in quarters. I put some cucumbers in it. Very simple. I'm keeping it very simple. I've used some baby fresh lettuce, spinach, whatever the hell. I forgot what it was. Put everything together in there, and I made my homemade dressing, olive oil and vinegar, and oregano and all kind of other stuff, and garlic and everything. And it's looking good. So everything is trying to stay away from the sugar. So I'm simmering my onion soup now, and I think it's almost done. So let me go to the table and serve the salad. So folks, let me show you how this onion soup is made. First of all, I'm going to use a pan. Okay. I am going to put a piece of paper towel on it. And you're gonna ask me why I put the paper towel in. I'm gonna lay these little bowls down. These little bowls, you can get them on Amazon, eBay. You can get them in the store. And I'm going to start to ladle my onion soup into these bowls, like so. Okay. You can get bigger bowls, I guess, but traditional. I always see these little bowls like this. If you go to Outback, they give you a little bowl just like this. You can have seconds. It's your home. So, and you can, okay. So, I filled the bowls up with the soup almost to the top, almost to the rim. Now, set this aside here to let it cool off a bit. Okay. And now I'm going to get my bread. I'll be right back. Let me get my bread out of it. So folks, I just filled up my bowls, my 2 little bowls with the onion soup. Now I took French bread. You can use Italian bread, I guess, or you can use But traditional, you got to use French bread because it's French onion soup. Okay. So I put it. I brushed it with some olive oil. Olive oil is good. I mean, I use olive oil and everything. I mean, you know, I wish they made like olive oil toothpaste. I use brush my teeth with it. Anyway, I brush olive oil on the bread, and I'm going to toast it slightly, not too hard, just so I can flex it around. And then I'm going to put it into the bowls, and I'm going to top it with Swiss cheese. I'm using Swiss cheese today, and a combination of Swiss cheese and freshly shredded mozzarella. So that's what I'm going to use. You can use other kind of cheeses. I've used Gruyere cheese. You can use any kind of cheese, I guess. Look it up. But this is what I'm using today. Okay, so I freshly shredded this mozzarella, and then I'm going to lay it on top. Now I'm toasting my bread, and I'm going to show you when I put everything together how that looks. Okay, folks, so I got my toasted French bread, and this is the tricky part to this. Okay, there's a tricky part to this, which is, first of all, turn on your oven to broil. Broil is all the way at the end. You want to cook this from the top to the bottom. Then you're going to take these pieces of bread. Remember, you need to have them flexible, so you're going to sit them on top of the bowl, sort of squeeze them in there, so they lock up. They don't go all the way. They don't sink to the bottom of the soup. But they interlock, and there you go. You interlock them like so. Like I said, this is a little bit tricky. And then once you get them in, you don't want them to fall into the soup because you know, they'll get all soggy. And you got to make sure that they're toasty. So, okay, so just okay. Now you're gonna lay your cheese on it. I'm gonna use, like I said, Swiss cheese on top, and I'm gonna lay this on top of the bowl. Now there's probably other ways to do this. People probably telling me, "What the hell is he doing?" Well, this is the way I do it. Uncle Jussie, okay? Uncle Jussie is unique, and he does things his own way. And you can follow me if you want. If you don't, hey, somebody will. Okay, now, I'm putting mozzarella on top because it's going to melt real nice. And it's going to give it a nice flavor, neutral flavor against the Swiss. Right? That sounds really professional there. Yeah, neutral flavoring. Okay, so don't be cheap with the cheese. Put all the cheese on top, okay? Now, probably people asking me, well, why did he put paper towels there? I'm going to lift these up. Now, I got all the cheese in the napkin. Hey, so it doesn't get on the pan. So when I cook this, it won't get burnt all over the pan. So a little tip there. Now my oven's been on. And you got to keep eye on this. I'm going to put it in the broiler. That's the bottom part, the way bottom part, okay? You can probably use a toaster oven if you have a toaster oven, but it's got to be very hot. Okay, so I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to keep eye on it because the broiler cooks from the top to the bottom, and it cooks it pretty quick. So you got to keep eye on it. And I'll show you how this turns out. Now you're probably not wondering what I'm doing. I didn't shrink. What I'm doing, I'm keeping eye on the soup. So I'm bending over right next to my stove to make sure that I get the nice crispy color on top of the cheese, but I don't burn it too much. So, well, folks, I just took it out of the oven. It looks delicious. I'm going to take it to the table first because it's steaming hot, and then I'll show you how it looks at the table. So, folks, very quickly, I want to get out because this video is too long. I'm going to bring you over to the table and see how it looks. So, let me show you the salad here. This is Gilbert salad, okay? And this is the French onion soup. There you go. Get that in the middle there. Okay, you can adjust. You can burn it more if you want. Toast it more up the top, whichever you want. I got a small salad for myself, and this is how the table looks. This is my homemade salad dressing now. No sugar, all natural stuff, homemade. And this is how everything looks, folks. French onion soup. Okay, there you go. You can get that more brown if you want. It's up to you. Just don't burn it, right? Okay, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of long, but it was a lot of intense stuff to cook and everything like that. So anyway, folks, once again, see you guys tomorrow and see what tomorrow brings. And then tomorrow is Thursday. And then after that, I don't know if I'll be cooking. I don't know if I'll be doing whatever I've been doing. But love you guys. Love the prayers. Love the thumbs up. I love you guys. I love the comments. I really do. I love you guys. I love my fans and my family, my friends. You guys are great. You guys keep me going. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.